Hello and welcome. Good day. It is Thursday, April 20th. We are excited for our first inaugural session of Lab Talk. This is our new series where we're talking about tips and tricks. So we want to provide some best practice for lab scientists, for people in the lab every day on everyday topics that can help you improve safety, ergonomics, and productivity in the lab. So today we will be welcoming, for our very first episode on Labware, we will be welcoming Anshula Sharma. Anshula is a commercial manager with the Thermo Fisher Scientific Labware team. So a lot of you may know the brand names Nalgene and Nunk. She handles a lot of that product line. And today we're going to talk about breaking the glass habit. So I'm going to hand it over to Anshula and get the screen set up here. And Anshula, let's kick it off. Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, Angela. I am super excited today to be starting this Lab Talk series with you on Earth Month. We have Earth Day approaching, so this is a great time to talk a little bit about break the glass habit. So we're going to talk about how you can break the habit of using glass labware and take advantage of the benefits of plastic labware. So Nalgene Labware offers improved durability over comparable glass products. As we're going to see, we're going to have a demo for you as well. But let's first define what we mean by plastic labware. I know you guys are probably familiar with it. You see it all over the place, but let's give a definition to it. So labware products are durable, reusable plastic devices used for routine lab procedures. Examples that you'll find all over would be beakers, graduated cylinders, desiccators, bottles, carboys, you name it. And Nalgene Labware is designed to replace traditional glassware in the lab. And we have several resin options available based on the work you're doing. So switching to plastic also helps protect the most valuable asset in your lab, which is obviously you and your staff and all the people that work in the labs. So let's take a look at why one would want to even consider breaking the glass habit. First and foremost, as I think, which is very obvious, is safety. Labware is an essential component of nearly all laboratory workflows. We see them used by all types of customers, right? So a major advantage of plastic labware is its lightweight, which makes it more ergonomic to handle, making it easier to manipulate, especially when it's full. And it can help you also reduce the chance of any kind of repetitive motion injuries, the RSI mentioned here, and it offers ergonomic benefits to the user. The most obvious and compelling reason to use plastic is it's less likely to shatter than glass, and it's less likely to cause any sort of personal injury from chipped edges and sharp pieces, right? We all know what happens when glass shatters. And plastic labware's resistance to shattering is the number one reason why labs choose to convert their glassware to plastic labware. I'm sure we've all seen broken glass on deliveries as well, so this can also be prevented by using plastic labware. And then we move over to some of the cost savings that you might see by using plastic labware. So if you take a look at the cost savings, plastic labware on average costs less than glassware, and it's also durable and long-lasting under typical lab conditions. So you can eliminate the expense and the time commitment of replacing that broken glassware, right? And so not only can you make your lab safer, but you can also stretch your budget more. Because it's lightweight, it also means that you are paying less on transportation expenses. And we'll take a look at a little bit of that in the sustainability piece of it. So as this is Earth Month, we wanted to go over a little bit more on the sustainability aspect of plastic labware. Plastic labware, the most commonly produced using polypropylene or high-density polyethylene, HDPE materials, right? So these materials are non-cytotoxic and suitable for any sort of direct contact with pharmaceutical products, and the high-quality polymers are also recyclable. But one thing I do want to point out is that recyclability alone, while it is very important, is not enough to classify plastic labware as sustainable. When considering sustainability, it is important to consider the practices also implemented by labware manufacturers to reduce the cost of their own carbon footprint. So some of these practices could include, how to create a sustainable design would be the very first step. And then the resources and the raw materials that go into the actual making of these products. So plastic labware should be produced using materials free from any unnecessary additives, such as plasticizers, fillers, any kind of mold release agents, and should contain only minimal amounts of required heat stabilizers and antioxidants. Because these additive materials have the potential to also leach out into solutions under the right conditions, it's important that only lab-grade plastic materials be used to make labware. So then we have the actual processing and the product manufacturing piece. Once you decide on the raw materials or the type of resin you want to use, then we have the processing and production, which requires a lot of large amounts of electricity and which results in increased carbon emissions. So whenever possible, manufacturers should use renewable energy sources to help to reduce polluting the environment. It would also make more sense to create a product that could last longer and be reused many times. And then once we have the product and we want to ship it and distribute it to all the labs and all the people using the product. So in the case of plastic labware, it can be safely transported using minimal packaging because of its lighter weight compared to glass. So again, it helps not just us, but it helps labs reduce their waste in their facility as well. Packaging is a big factor in the sustainability of a product. Oftentimes, plastic containers are also packaged in cartons with a high percentage of recyclable content. So these cartons are not suitable for packaging glass as they don't have the mechanical strength to support that. So again, look for recycled packaging that's used with some of the plastic labware. And then we have actual use of the products once you get the product shipped to you. How do you use the product in the manner in which you use it? Is it good quality? Is it durable? Is it reusable? Can you use it for a long time? All of those factors contribute to the use of the product. And then, of course, once it reaches its end of life, at that point, is it recyclable? So, and this is how the product is disposed of, whether it's recyclable or ends up in a landfill. So labs should be looking for high quality, durable containers and labware that can be used repeatedly over the course of many years. So heavy duty leak proof containers such as carboys, bottles, graduated cylinders can last more than 20 years if they are maintained properly. Again, that depends on the quality of the plastic materials that you use. So here, moving forward, many of our plastic labware products participate in My Green Lab's ACT label program. And here we have an image of the ACT label for you as well. So ACT stands for accountability, consistency, transparency. So this virtual ACT label is like an eco-nutrition label for lab products. ACT labeling is designed to make the process of comparing and choosing more sustainable products easier for you. So here, My Green Lab, just a little bit about them, is a nonprofit organization focused on improving the sustainability of scientific labs. They launched this program to help you decide and help you make better informed decision on a the carbon footprint of a product, and then to help you with your sustainability goals as well for your facility. So the ACT label, it actually neatly sums up the life cycle of a product in this tiny little form that you see here. And reading the form is actually pretty simple. The lower the score at the bottom where we see here, it has the environmental impact factor. That means the better it is for the environment. Here we have an example of an algae narrow mouth economy bottle. And you can see anywhere from a scale of 1 to 10, from the manufacturing, for the shipping, the product content, they all have a number value associated with them. And the end of life, which includes the packaging and the product itself. So here you can see the score. And if you go to their website, you can compare this product with a similar product made by any manufacturers and can actually see the difference in the environmental impact these products have. And that's why it's that's why it's there to help you make better, more informed decisions of the products that you use in your lab. So here, I want to show you that Nalgene Labware has a full portfolio of products to help you make that switch from glass. We have graduated cylinders, beakers, flasks, different types of flasks. We have Erlenmeyer volumetric vacuum, centrifuge tubes, sample containers. We also have a very intensive bottle and carboy selection guide to help you narrow down the exact product that would fit for your needs. Again, to reiterate, Nalgene containers are made from high quality pharmaceutical, laboratory, and food grade plastic materials. We also offer the leak-proof Nalgene bottles and closures, and we also provide regulatory support and any sort of certification on demand. With this, I want to actually take you over to a scenario you might be familiar with already. We are going to go to a typical lab. As you see here, we have somebody working at the bench, very diligently pipetting, and you can see a variety of plastic labware right next to them. I'm sure you see these scenes every day in your lab, but here we have a graduated cylinder. And then we have somebody, walking to their bench, getting something, doing something else. And in the process, oops, we have a fallen cylinder. Now, imagine if that were glass. You would have a lot of mess to clean up just with that and the safety aspect of it as well. Glass shatters, very sharp edges, lots of accidents are a possibility. But with plastic labware, you can be assured that that's not going to happen. And at least from that safety perspective, this is such an amazing product. And then here we have our beakers. So here you can see they're nested quite well, different volumes. So we do offer a variety of volumes of the cylinders as well as the beaker, space-saving design for your lab. And again, if you have ever worked with glass beakers, you know they have a larger circumference and it's very easy to see the chips and the shatters and the cracks. I've seen them when I was in the lab as well. I think every lab might have one of those where the beak is actually broken or chipped. Those are very dangerous. So again, plastic labware prevents all of that. You have smooth edges and a beautiful product. Awesome. So back up they go. And then here I want to show you a desiccator, which I feel is very important because glass desiccators are very heavy and you're going to the lab to do bench work, not bench press your desiccator. So here we have Megan easily opening and closing the desiccator, taking her samples in and out and replacing it. You can move your samples without any issues. And there you go. And in the event you do have an accident and it falls, well, there aren't going to be any pieces to pick up other than the samples you have inside. And then here we have our flasks. Now, flasks do come with an open top as well as with closures. As you can see, we've got some media in here. And Megan's going to be performing some work here with the cylinder. Whoops, we had another accident. Well, there you go. We don't have glass pieces to pick up at least. Because of the closures, we still have our sample intact, no sample loss as well. That's awesome. And I'm sure all labs have one person who kind of like bumps into things and knocks things over. I've seen that. So in order to keep your lab staff and everybody safe, I think plasticware is definitely a great option. And just to reiterate, we've seen that plastics have many advantages over glass and are much more safer and more sustainable to use. And we do offer a wide variety to choose from. But keep this in mind also, even though there are a lot of plastic labware choices out there, but low quality plastics contain significant amounts of additives as well and impurities that may leach into your solutions. So again, choose products that are of high quality. And just to go over again, Nalgene Labware offers several benefits over glass as we've seen. We've even gone through a live demo. Safety is the first and foremost that we must take into consideration. It helps protect staff in the event of an accident. Accidents happen all the time. Not only does it offer you cost savings with the lower product cost as well as transportation expenses, but it is a sustainable product as well. And by sustainability, like looking at the manufacturing practices through the end-of-life use of the product itself, plastic offers many advantages over glass. So please reach out to technical support or to your Thermo Fisher Scientific sales representative to get started. They can help you switch your glassware to plastic labware.